Hey everyone, it's Chris here from Everyday Survival Gear, and today I bring you the Jetbeam Jet MK2. It's at least double the goodness of the Jet MK1. Let's get the review started. Alright guys, this is the Jetbeam Jet 2 MK. If you're looking for the Jetbeam Jet 1 MK, I'll leave a link in the description. You can check out the review of that. Basically, the main differences are the battery type. Jet 2 MK uses a 16340. Jet 1 MK uses a 14500. I'll start off by showing you everything that comes with the light. You get the clip. You get the lanyard. Comes in this package here. And if you take it apart, you'll see you get the spare O-ring. Get the warranty card, and now on the back of this warranty card, it has the address and whatnot where you can fill out, and then you can send them where you can send your product back for warranty, certificate of approval, and the Jetbeam manual in English. That's that side. No, it's that side actually. And a silica pack in case you're like it's a bit moist on the. And before I forget, I also have to mention Gearbest sent me this light for review. So I'll leave a link in the description of where you can purchase it. Basically, anyone that knows me or follows me knows that I'm a big Jetbeam fan. I really like their products. I've been buying them now for a while. Probably my second high-powered flashlight was the Jetbeam. So ever since then, about 2010, I've been buying their products. This is not bad, but there's a few improvements that could be made. Generally, I wouldn't really speak that bad about a flashlight. It's not a bad light, but it's just missing a couple of key features that I don't see why Jetbeam took them away. So basically, it is what I said. It is kind of like the Jetbeam Jet 1 MK, only a 16340 version, but this is also upgraded. So straight away when you get the light, you'll see it's got a stainless steel bezel. The Jet 1 MK doesn't have a stainless steel bezel. They both got OP reflectors. They both have a AR coated glass. The Jetbeam Jet 1 MK uses a Cree XP-G2. This uses a Cree XPR-HI, which of course is a much more expensive emitter. The price difference is more than double between those two emitters. There's a few other little things here and there, and we'll run over them now. So obviously it's a small, compact, easy design, so it's pretty much made to be an EDC. I would prefer this to be my EDC than a 18650 flashlight, but everyone's different. It's got 4 brightnesses. It's got high mode, 510 lumens, which goes for 0.75 hours. Medium mode, 100 lumens, which goes for 1.5 hours. Low mode, 5 lumens, 3 hours. Ultra low mode, 0.5 lumens, 150 hours. That's basically a Moonlight Mode, the 0.5 lumen mode. Its max beam distance is up to 138 meters. Max 4800 CD. Effective power management circuit, max runtime 150 hours. Battery reverse protection function. Waterproof rating IPX8, underwater 2 meters, which is great. 2 meter impact resistant. So basically you get a little bit of extra impact resistance with this light compared to the Jet 1 MK, because this doesn't need to use a buck driver. So as I said, uses a Cree XPR-HI. That's it there. It's got the stainless steel bezel, which kind of gives it a more premium feel, because the XPR-HI does cost more, so you would be expecting that. AR coated glass, military type 3 hard anodizing, and it can either run on a 16340 or a CR123. Its length is 65 millimeters, head diameter is 21.8 millimeters, tail diameter is 21.8 millimeters. The weight is 30 grams without the battery. So basically, the runtime tests were done with a Jetbeam 3.7 volt, 680 milliamp hour, 16340, and it's an ANSI NEMA FL1 test. Also, reading about the light, it's also got a overheating protection to ensure the LED lifespan. So basically, it's got a thermal step down, So once the light gets too hot, it'll keep on stepping down to 65% and it'll let it cool down. And then to get it back to turbo, you got to switch the modes again. And then that'll take it back to its highest output again. Pretty easy to use, which is one of the qualms that I have. Not that it's easy to use, but there's no memory mode. So I've always said on a flashlight where you got to turn the head to switch on, you really need a memory mode. So it's got the Moonlight Mode, 0.5 lumens. Then it's got the low mode, 5 lumens. Then you got the medium mode, 100 lumens. That's the high mode there, 510 lumens. So these lights, they're basically twist to activate. So to me, that makes great for an EDC. I'll take the light apart. Runs on a 16340. I've got a fandifier here. I've also got so-shine cells that fit in perfectly. They're protected. You can see the threads there. There's a lot of them. And even though they're a little bit thin, there's still enough of them there that they shouldn't wear out when you've been turning the head on and off. If you look inside the head itself, it's got like a rubber boot that sits around the driver. I'm not 100% sure why that's there, but I think so you don't short circuit it out if you're using a battery that still doesn't have the protection part here for the negative. So on a cell, that's positive, and the rest of the battery is a negative. So that's why it's kind of important to have this part there, the rubber boot. Spring on the back side. Metal clip can only fit on one way, but it can move around. It appears to have a lanyard hole here. You could also put a magnet in that, which is what I'm going to do soon. And 2 attachments for where you can put the lanyard. That is pretty much the whole light. You can see the O-ring there. My one is really well greased up. I've done that myself. It came with a little bit of grease on it, not that much. Now, my 2 biggest qualms with this light is, why no memory mode? I think memory mode might be a little bit of a killer for some people. Do you really want to have to be changing through 3-4 modes every single time? On an EDC, I feel that memory mode is probably pretty important. But there's probably also 100 million people out there that don't like memory mode too. My other qualm is, why isn't this stainless steel? If on the, or at least bare, if I'm on the Jet 1 MK, it will stainless steel. Why did you have to anodize it here? Well, let's just see. So, right, where this clip attaches, it attaches to the head. And when it's fully tightened, can you see that there? It's rubbing against the knurling, which is at the end, that's pretty much going to wear out and it's going to start to scratch. So no matter which way you go, either the flashlight will get scratched or the clip itself will get scratched. That by itself is no major deal breaker because you can easily take this clip off. Alright, so now that clip is off. And then there, you can see my one isn't wearing out yet. And I've been EDCing it for about 4 days. We're just starting to wear off there. Nah. So it's lucky that it's pretty good anodizing coating. But the clip itself is pretty small. It does work well, still as a clip. But I'm kind of disappointed, like, why not just shorten the clip? Even though it would have looked stupid, why not just shorten the clip? Or why not even, like, redesign it to a different way? Like, that's something that they really should have thought about before releasing the light. So if we compare it to the Jet 1 MK, this is the Jet 2, this is the Jet 1, you can see what I mean. That's the stainless steel clip there. They're both different designs. Both the flashlights are pretty much the same in the aspect that they're the same color, the same style design. You can tell this is more for premium light just by looking at it. The stainless steel bezel does help with that. But I feel that having the stainless steel clip would have kind of polished it off. The other downside is too, you can't run a normal battery in here. You got to go buy a CR123. But that's still a stock off-the-shelf battery, the same as the AAA. Sorry, the same as the AA that comes in the Jet MK1. If you're overseas and you need a battery for the Jet MK2, you can easily go to the shops. As an EDC, like, I really love it. It is a lot brighter than this, even though you might not be able to tell when I show you on camera. I've done a ceiling bounce test. This one only gets about 32 lux. This gets about 37 lux. And that 5 extra lux is a very big difference in a ceiling bounce test. This is rated at 510, this at 480. So yeah, so it all comes down to what would you rather? Would you rather a shorter, fatter EDC or a smaller, longer, I should say thinner, longer EDC? If you were to choose between these two, there's only a tiny price difference, and that price difference is justifiable by the extra parts that you get on this. Considering that you get the XPO HI and the stainless steel bezel, that's pretty much why you're paying that little bit extra. And also the drop resistance on this is better than on the Jet MK1. So the Jet MK2 is probably a little bit sturdier built, but all in all, they're kind of the same, and that's why they're pretty much family. This is pretty much done. I'll take you guys outside now, and we'll see how it does. Alright guys, we've got the Jetbeam Jet 2 MK outside now. I'll show you the first mode, which is Moonlight Mode. I've got an old piece of paper here that I've done a review on. You can see it's got enough light to read like a book or a map or something if you got to like keep the battery safe. So you can see that's more than enough info there. I mean, that's more than enough light to read that info there. We'll switch next to the low mode, the 5 lumens. I've never actually owned an EDC with 2 such low modes. So if I show you to that keg, you might be able to see it. That's about 5 meters away. It's not the best. We'll go for a little walk over to my shed door. Oh, a bit bumpy. How well can you see that from there? Oh, you can see that. That's about 4 meters away too. That's on low mode. I'm not sure, like, I think that this mode's pretty good. I myself wouldn't have put the Moonlight Mode on there. I'm not a big fan of Moonlight Mode. I don't use it too much. I can see why it's got it, but I don't know. Like, I think you could have mode spaced a little bit better and made low like 5, and then put medium maybe 80, and then like 200 lumen and then 500 lumen. That's what I would have done. We'll head back now. We'll switch it to medium mode, 100 lumens. Seems a little bit brighter than 100 lumens to me. I could be wrong. Alright, so usual tree. That's 100 lumens. The thing with the way that the clip sits is, I kind of had to rush when I was talking inside because these videos have been a little bit long. But at least if I can show you the light being used and talk at the same time, I get 2 things done at once. The thing with the clip is, they anodized it because they've done it dodgy. So I can live with the memory mode, but that clip is a little bit stupid. Like, why have it rubbing against the light when just the friction itself is going to end up wearing away at the anodizing, even on the clip or on the light. So obviously they made it, then they realized after that this isn't going to work. This is high mode here. I said turbo before in the video. I stuffed up that too. Also the Jet 1 MK, that uses a SMO reflector. That's a smooth reflector. This is a textured OP reflector. It looks a little bit orange, not that orange. So you can see the light here. It is bright, like super bright. You can see it here. We'll move back a tad bit. I think like a lot more effort went into making this light, and the whole body and the reflector, it is like a lot better made than the Jet MK1. The Jet MK2 does surpass it there. The reflector is wider and deeper, so it does go further, even though it's textured. I'll show you at the tree at 100 meters. I'm not sure how well you guys can see that, but I can see that pretty good. Not the best, but it still is a flatter, not a thrower. The light's starting to get hot now. I'm not sure how long I've had it on for, but it's not too bad. No thermal step down yet. I think this market is starting to become tighter and tighter. I really think it could have used the memory mode, but I'm going to try and take mine apart and see if I can fix that myself. Otherwise, the light is top build quality. It is really well made. The price isn't too bad, like about $30 US, I think. So that's still pretty cheap. The output is, overall, it is really good. This is more than enough light for your EDC. It's tough and it's small. Like, it's super light and super compact, and you're getting like a lot of output. I can see it stepped down a tad bit now. Alright, I'll put the Jet 1 MK on, and we will compare the Jet 2 MK and the Jet 1. I might just let it cool down for a second, guys. Alright guys, this is the Jet 1 MK on now. Uses the Cree XPG2, and the it's a smooth reflector. It's not what I said, OP. The head is smaller, but I think the reflector is about the same deepness, but it's not as wide. The tint doesn't look quite as nice as the Jet MK2. Output and runtime is pretty similar. There's not too much difference. We'll turn on the Jet 2 MK now. Alright, that's the Jet 2 to the left and the Jet 1 to the right. So you can see the Jet 2 is substantially brighter, not by like a million lumens, but even if it's only 50 lumens on high mode or 100 lumens brighter, it still is like a fair bit brighter. It is a little bit floodier too, even though it's using a LED that we would be using for a thrower. It still is pretty floody. So left is Jet 2, or sorry, Jet 2 MK. These friggin' names are like confusing. And the Jet 1 MK. Pretty similar matched, but you can see that the Jet 2 does have it. We'll put on the Olight S1R now, and we'll all get blown away by how bright it is. Alright guys, this is the Jet 2 MK on turbo mode. I'll turn the Olight on once I get the lock off. Alright, that locks off. If you ask me which one I prefer between the Olight S1R and this Jet 2 MK, I'll still choose the Jetbeam, only because my EDC, even though the Olight S1R has the lock on the button, it still does turn on. It does have the added bonus of the charger, but I carry around a spare charger anyway. We'll put the Olight on its highest mode, and then we'll drop it down. We'll see how it does. Alright, that should be the 300 lumen mode on the Olight, so second brightest. I give the Olight credit, it is an awesome light, but the Jetbeam does also look better. I prefer the look of the Jetbeam. I know that might not be a reason for someone to buy a light, but the Jetbeam is half the price anyway, and you're getting more than half the light for that money. Alright, so that's turbo mode on the Olight S1R. I know like you can't compare the 900 lumens to the 500, but here's the Jetbeam Jet 2 MK to the left, and the Olight S1R to the right at 900 lumens. We'll see which one steps down first. I think like all in all, if the Jetbeam had the memory, if it had memory mode, it would be the perfect light ever. Like I would love it. But without the memory mode, it's kind of lacking that. I can live with the clip because I don't even use the clip, so that's going to come off. But I just want the memory mode. That's about it. Otherwise, look-wise and looks-wise and performance-wise, it's absolutely perfect. Alright, I'll turn the Olight off now. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know the inside part was probably a bit of a rush. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter. If you enjoyed it, give me a like and even subscribe if you want. Thanks for watching guys, and I hope to see you again.